Hello, everyone, and welcome to MIC TV. Today, we're going to be discussing setting your financial goal, the 1,000 True Fans approach. I'm your host, Greg Ferriola, along with my partner, TJ Peterson.
Hi, everyone.
Now, if this is your first time joining us, we'd like to welcome you to the MIC community. Please introduce yourself in the chat, say hi, share your links with us, anything that would help us be able to connect with you. We love meeting new musicians and supporting them whenever we have an opportunity. So please, again, say hello, even if you're watching the replay. Okay. So again, today we're going to be discussing setting your financial goal, the 1,000 True Fans approach. Now, whether you're just starting out in your career or you've been around the block a few times, you've probably experienced a period where you're having a difficult time earning money. Now, how do I know this? Well, because every musician goes through that experience. In fact, just about every business, whether you're running a delicatessen or some other type of business entity, you're going to go through a period of time where you're not earning money or enough money to support yourself. Now, if you've been watching any of our shows, we've covered in the past traditional ways that musicians can earn money from music, such as live music sales, live shows, merchandising, and some of the non-traditional ways that you can also bring in money. But regardless of whether you're a solo artist or in a band, there are lots of ways that you can generate income as an artist. And you shouldn't, tie yourself to just music-related things if you have a lot of different creative interests. You just need to be able to, while you're doing all this stuff, focus on the things that you love doing, take notice to what your audience is responding to, and then create an experience for them based on all those things that they're willing to pay and be a part of. And as you go through that learning process and develop and work everything towards your career, you're going to face a lot of obstacles and challenges because everyone does. But the hardest thing that you are going to have to overcome will be, in my opinion and TJ's opinion, well, I'm going to say for TJ's opinion, will be yourself. Building a music career at the end of the day requires a lot of work. It's very difficult. And it requires you to do things that are going to be continually outside your comfort zone. Because as you work to create something, you're going to be trying new things, things that will result in you changing your career path and your normal routine of your day-to-day life. And although this is a good thing and something down deep that you probably want to do, your mind and body are going to instinctually fight against that and try to keep you safe, which means not doing or trying new things. So to keep you essentially safe, your mind will fill your head with thoughts of doubt, and your body may even feel anxious at times. Now, sometimes you're able to kind of push through those types of things and those types of feelings when it's small tasks and goals. But the larger the task and goal, the more intense those reactions are going to become. And I'm sure that you've probably experienced something like that. Singing a song maybe for a friend in your room might cause you a little bit of anxiety, but you'll be able to do it. Whereas maybe getting up on stage in front of a full packed crowd might be very overwhelming. So it really kind of depends on the situation. That being said, there are people out there that have zero reservations about doing those sort of things. But those people are honestly more the exception than the rule. And most people are going to have a hard time pushing themselves outside of their comfort zone, even though they want to do it. And it's one of the main reasons that you're going to see most musicians hit a career plateau, because the task and goal that they're trying to accomplish when they are moving forward is simply too big, and they wind up paralyzing themselves. So if you're one of those people, the question is, what do you do? Well, the answer is that you need to take that really big goal or task that you're trying to accomplish and break it down to something smaller and more manageable, something that your mind and body views to be a little bit safer, meaning something that is slightly outside your comfort zone, but not completely outside of it, something that's so far outside that just makes you like, no, I can't do that. And that's why it's important, why we recommend to all the members that we work with through Musician Indie Coalition, that they should have long-term goals and short-term goals. Now, in this scenario, your long-term goals represent the things that you believe that you can accomplish, but are, for now, completely outside of your comfort zone, such as the process of maybe building an audience that has 1 million fans in it. That's too much to ask of any independent artist or band. On the flip side, your short-term goal for that overall goal could be that, hey, I want to get 50 or 100 fans. And that is more manageable and something that shouldn't be as intimidating to you if that's what your goal is. Now, as you work your way towards achieving your long-term goals, you're going to need to make a habit of breaking them down into smaller goals that are more manageable, that will help you to make continual progression in your career. In short, you need to find the balance between things that will drive and motivate you versus things that are going to paralyze you. And that will take some trial and error. But once you kind of get that down, it will be beneficial to you because you're going to make continual progress and try to, instead of just paralyzing yourself with a task that might be too big that you might not be mentally ready for. Now, with that in mind, let's discuss setting your financial goals, the 1,000 True Fans approach. And before I start, I need saliva, so I'm going to take a sip of my drink. Okay, so who wants to be a millionaire? Now, I'm sure that we all would love to make that kind of money, but when it comes to setting financial goals, you need to be realistic and so that you can avoid feeling overwhelmed. There's nothing wrong with knowing how much money you want to eventually earn or need to eventually be earning to be a full-time musician, but to keep yourself motivated, again, you need to set financial goals that are attainable in the near future. For example, your financial goal could be to earn enough money to cover your month-to-month expenses. Or you can do it in maybe by setting small increments, such as goal one, I want to earn $100 per month. And then the next goal is, okay, now that I've done that, I want to start earning $200 a month, and so on. And increasingly, figuring out ways to sell things or bring in money that will help you maintain that consistent income and revenue stream. But another approach when it comes to your finances and earning money will help the process be less intimidating is to focus maybe on attaining fans versus necessarily focusing on the money aspect of your career. Which brings us to the 1,000 True Fans approach, which was created by Kevin Kelly back in 2008. Now, 1,000 true fans, if you're a solo artist, is roughly what you need to have a sustainable music career. Now, why 1,000? Let's take a look at this scenario. First, ask yourself, how much money do you need to earn per year? Now, for this example, we're going to select $100,000 per year because most people can live on that comfortably every year. Next, how much money do you think you can earn from one fan in 1 year? Now, this amount, it would include money from music sales, live shows, merchandise, donations, basically anything that you would do to sell to your audience. Now, to be conservative, let's say $100, because on average, that's roughly 1 day's pay for most people in the country or wherever you live. And fans will typically, if they're diehard fans, will spend more than that. But again, we're just looking for an average amount, plus it makes the math easy. So now we want to enter that into this equation that's up here, and which is the yearly income goal divided by the yearly income from one fan equals the number of true fans that you need. So if we plug in $100,000 divided by $100 of sales per fan, you're going to find that you need 1,000 true fans per year to earn that amount of money. This also means that if you did go down this approach, you need to be able to create $100 worth of sales products per year. That, again, that could be a live show. It could be an experience. It could be, music, obviously, or merchandise. But that would be what your goal would be, is once you figure out that amount, to figure out how you could create that amount and then get people to actually pay you for those things. Now, when you break your financial goals down like this, it makes it seem, not only more attainable, but you can actually see a path for achieving them. It's like, if you say, hey, I want to make $1 million, it's so vague. Not only that it's vague, it's so unattainable in so many ways. Like, breaking down that problem is very complicated. But when you break it into, something that you can actually reach out and touch, it's like, oh, hey, I need to earn $100 from a fan. How can I go about doing that? Or, if you don't need to be making $100,000, maybe you only need to make $50,000. Then the equation would be like, how do I make $50 from a fan each year? That's the kind of way that you want to be viewing these things. So what is a true fan? Now, true fans are your super duper die hard fans, someone that will purchase anything and everything that you produce. They will go out of your way to see you perform. They'll donate to your crowdfunding campaigns and follow basically everything that you do. And when building your career, your goal is to seek out and develop those strong relationships with these types of fans. Of course, you're still going to have casual fans and people that, show up every so often, but when you find these people, you're going to know who they are, and you want to go the extra mile to be good friends with them and keep in contact and keep them up to date on everything that you're working on. Now, here are some important notes about true fans, because again, your diehard fans are the ones that really will support you day in and day out. Now, having 1,000 true fans is achievable for anybody. Doesn't matter where you live, you have the capability of meeting 1,000 people and slowly converting them over into your hardcore fan base. And if you just added one true fan per day in 3 years, you'll hit that goal. Now, 3 years might seem like a lot, but really, when you're developing a music career, it's not. In any business, most even startups and all that kind of stuff takes 5 years before the business usually becomes profitable. So 3 years ain't bad. Now, 20% of your fans will account for about 80% of your revenue. These 20% are your super fans. And the other 80% are casual fans, and they won't spend as much money, on you. Maybe they'll stream, maybe they'll buy a ticket every so often, but they're not going to be consistent. So you really want to focus a lot of your marketing and promotional stuff on these 20% of your fans. Now, some musicians just want to play music and don't want to deal with fans. Now, if that sounds like you, that's okay, but you're going to need to find someone in your organization, in your band, or maybe someone that's going to help maybe manage you or whatever, just as a friend that will have that connection with them, that will take the time to build that relationship, because that is extremely important. Personal relationships are the backbone to your career. So you need to have the capability of developing those things early on. Now, once you get to the point where you have millions of fans, are you going to talk to every single one of them? No, but you will still do things that build these kind of relationships. Like one of the examples we give is, Taylor Swift, for one of her album releases, had some diehard fans over to her house, and they baked cookies and they talked and whatever. That's just one example there where a major artist, took the time and energy to meet with their fans and just did something nice with them to build relationships. And that kind of experience gets out in the press and builds those kind of, relationships even further with people that are kind of watching. That's like, oh, wow, that's a really nice thing to do. I would love to do that at some point. Maybe if I support her more, I'll have an opportunity to do that one day. All right. So, to conclude, the main point that we want to kind of stress about this today is you can be your own worst enemy. And it's completely understandable because, again, developing any business is difficult, but a musician really has an uphill battle in a lot of ways. And even if you're really successful and amazing at what you do, you're going to hit obstacles and have days where you just don't feel 100%. And you're going to always encounter things that are outside your comfort zone. And that's difficult. I mean, it's important to push through those things, but you want to be aware of those things and work the problem. And by doing that means to not overwhelm yourself. You want to push yourself, but not too much, because it's counterproductive if you're going to overwhelm yourself. You already have an uphill battle as it is, so you got to figure out how you work most effectively and figuring out how to kind of dangle that carrot out just far enough in front of you so you're pushing yourself towards where you want to go, but again, where you're not paralyzing yourself. So as you work towards achieving your long-term goals, be sure that you work gradually. By focusing on short-term goals that are achievable, and it will help you grow as an artist. This is a slow progression. If you see online all the things that talk about, getting you to 100,000 fans overnight, all that stuff is complete BS. It's any business takes time to develop. The only thing I've ever seen to be able to really expedite it is if you had an unlimited war chest of money that you could pump into it and pay for advertising, but that's not, realistic. People aren't going to do that for you. No investor is going to give you a ton of money and say, here you go, here's a blank check, just do that. So as an independent musician, if you're really serious about doing this, it's going to be a gradual, slow build, talking to people, building relationships, and setting goals that drive you and actually help you make real, consistent progress. And by addressing all the emotions that accompany building your music career, you're going to be able to be productive and keep yourself productive so that you can make continual progress and eventually reach the long-term goals that you set for yourself.
I just want to talk my 2 cents about the true fan approach. I think it's so great for a couple of reasons. The 1,000 true fans, it's great because it puts things into perspective for musicians. You can see it's an easy pill to swallow. You can see yourself getting 1,000 fans and keeping them engaged year in and year out. What I really like about it is the way it kind of is so simply breaks down the things you need to do. Like obviously every musician knows, every artist knows they need to be getting fans all the time. You know, you try and build that fan base always. But not everyone's always thinking I need to provide that fan base with at least $100 worth of product a year. And that can be, you know, shows, um, new music, merch, whatever. But you have to put yourself in the shoes of one of those 1,000 fans that you need $100 from if you're getting that $100,000, you know, benchmark, and think, what am I going to buy? Like, how am I actually going to spend $100 on your career? So at the top of every year, you need to kind of plan out. I'm going to release this amount of product or have this number of shows or tour these areas, to make sure so it serves, you know, it's an easy pill to swallow. You can kind of wrap your head around getting 1,000 fans within, you know, a few years, but also it reminds you that you need to offer enough product just outright to warrant the money that's coming in, and I think it's a good exercise to just kind of plan out your year, and it's just so simple to think of it, and motivating. So I always love introducing that to people. I hope it's helpful to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep talking for a couple minutes because I got to get my
Yeah,
talk out.
absolutely.
I mean, I think the second thing I really want to stress is just, you know, when you talk about building a music career, it's theoretical. You know, like even I would say, you know, I like using myself and TJ as, you know, examples because you know, I know what we went through. Like we talked about building a business for like the longest time, and you know, when we actually set out to do Mike, it was like, sitting down and figuring out, you know, what we're going to teach and how we're going to structure things. Think, all that's fine. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, it's when you talk about doing something like that, it's just like, it's talk, you know, like there's a big difference between talking and thinking and imagining doing something. And it's a completely different experience when you actually go do it. You know, and I remember the moment where became real for us was just, you know, we had an initial consultation with a lawyer because we thought like, hey, we should figure out, you know, if we were going to launch a business, what kind of business structure. So one of my friends connected us with an attorney. We sat down and he broke all this stuff down, and it was just like, whoa, this is real. It's really intimidating. I don't know anything he's talking about. I don't understand anything he's talking about. And I was working in, you know, T and I've been working in the industry for years, but it was a completely different world. And so, you know, we went away from that meeting feeling like, okay, we're not ready to launch a business for real. And we spent the next year, you know, learning and talking to musicians and figuring out before we even launched and spent money on, you know, the program and on the coaching service was to figure out, okay, if we do this, what are we going to sell? How much are we going to charge? How much is our overhead cost? And you start going through this process and you start learning, because it's like, once our 1,000 True Fans approach was like, okay, well, we need, you know, X amount of customers to earn X amount of money to have a full-time business. And, you know, it took us a while to figure out what that equation was for us. But once I kind of figured that out and said, hey, this is how much money we need to earn, then there are all these tangible things like, okay, well, then if we're going to sell one-on-one coaching, how are we going to deliver that? Okay, well, we need to have a automatic sign up. How much does that cost? So you start working the problem back, and all of a sudden this theoretical vision you have for a business becomes something tangible that you actually have to go out and create. And 1 year later, when we were actually felt like, okay, we have interest, we have some people that want to pay us for coaching, and this is real. So let's invest some money into actually doing this. We went back to that same attorney to have essentially the same conversation over again, except this time we knew everything he was talking about, because we, you know, went and we did the work. And, you know, as a musician, you know, it's most of the time you're thinking about it, it's just a dream state. It's like, I dream of playing for large crowds and doing these things. And it's very easy to get caught up in that. But once it becomes to actual work, it's a completely different scenario, because then you're really stuck figuring out, like, how do I do this? Like, this is not why I got into music for. I didn't get into music to work. I got into music because I wanted to do something I loved. But if you really want to do something you love as a profession, it's work. It's a business. And that's the reality of, you know, what you are embarking on as a professional artist. So approaches like this are extremely important, because your mindset is make or break. If you can keep yourself in a positive mindset and work the problem and figure out how to kind of get yourself from point A to point B, that's important. And I'm saying point A to point B because most artists try to get from point A to point Z. And you're not trying to get to the end game. You're just trying to take the next small step in your progression. And that's what you need to do. And if you question whether, trying to figure out how to expedite through your career, the industry is literally littered with artists that have achieved stardom too fast. And you can see it. They burn out, they crash, they hire the wrong financial advisors, they go bankrupt, they have meltdowns. I mean, they're just not there. The person that you are when you're super successful and have that long-term goal and career is not the person who you're going to be today. And the only way you can become that person is by making small, continual progression, learning what you need to learn, and making these small steps and using these mindset techniques to help you reach and incrementally build up your career. I think we will, wrap up for today. Everyone have a great day. And remember, we are always here for you should you need us. Thanks for watching. If you're truly serious about building a professional music career, then I recommend learning how to be successful by watching our video, How DIY Musicians Become and Stay Successful. You can find the link for it in the description below. It's filled with great information, and we even give you a free gift for watching. So you really can't go wrong. Anyway, check it out today, and please don't forget to subscribe.